G'day guys, welcome back on Living on 2 Acres, Queensland. And today is not very usual video, but as you may have already guessed from the title, I'm going to talk about the electricity plans and what system I worked out here for selecting what plan I am better off being with. Hopefully it'll help you guys, and I'm sure if some of you are quite familiar with Excel and its features, you may have already done something similar. But if not, I hope it'll help you, and perhaps you might have other ways to work out which way is best to go. But this one is mine, and I'll show you how I go about it, because tomorrow is the 1st of July and my plan is due to end, and I just received an email from Origin informing me that the prices are changing as well. And normally I am with Origin, by the way. And normally when they send you an email, notifying you that the electricity prices are about to change, rarely it is about them going down. Of course, it's always about them going up. And because there are so many, it's kind of difficult to just grasp which one is the best, and you really need to have all your figures handy to do that. And this is not necessarily only for the Origin Energy customers. I mean, basically you can use it for as many providers as you wish. You can compare different providers, you can compare plans from the same provider or different plans from different providers. It's just a matter of entering more data into it, and it'll just in my view, it gives you a very, very clear picture of what sort of bill you're gonna have. Now, in my situation, I have solar batteries, quite a few. It's like a 13 kilowatt system, which is not uncommon these days. So I'm sure many of you guys have solar as well. So hopefully this will give you some ideas of how to go about it. Now, I am with Origin Energy. I've been with them for many, many, many years, and I'm sure some of you might say there are other companies that are better. I'm sure there are. I'm just sticking with Origin because I've been with them for so long, and I'm just the kind of guy that doesn't like to change these sort of things very often. So I'm basically sticking to just selecting the best plan from my current provider and going with that. So anyways, here's the actual Excel table that I made, and I'll show you. This is the current offer from Origin that I can sign up to, and you can see for people with solar, they currently offer 3 plans in my area, which is Origin Solar Boost, Origin Go Solar Variable, and Origin Go Variable. I am in Queensland. I'm sure in some other states they might have different offers, or maybe not, I don't know. It also apparently depends on the address where you live, and they might have different offers for you there. So my current plan is Origin Solar Boost, and I must say that the actual charges don't go up by much this time around. It basically was before 133.9 something. The solar meter charge stays the same. That's what I had on my plan that is now due to expire. And that's a general usage charge, which is quite high, I know, comparing to many other electricity providers, but still my current one is I think 32.049 or something like that. So it's actually if I was to stay on Origin Solar Boost, it's about to stay the same, I must say. The only big difference, and that has been the trend in the last few years, as many of you would have noticed, that they just offer you less and less cents per kilowatt for your feed-in tariff. It just keeps drastically going down to the point where, if today I was to consider whether to install solar, I would think twice, because I invested, aside from government rebates, I paid about $13,000 for it 3 years ago, I want to say. So $13,000 is a lot of money. How many electricity bills that would pay for you? Think about that. It's not like back in the days when the subsidy was huge and you would get like up to 50 cents per kilowatt. But of course back then, that was like decade ago. it was just unrealistic to put in 13 kilowatt system in place that would cost astronomical amount of money. Although I think if you were to install that back then and you'd remain on the 40 cents feed-in tariff, which was locked in, I believe, till 2028, you would have probably gotten your money back. But 13 kilowatt system back in like 2007 would have cost an arm and a leg, so I don't think many people were able to install that. But anyway, so that's what they offer, that's the rates that they offer, and obviously you can see the less cents per kilowatt they're prepared to offer for your feed-in, the lower the the costs. So basically daily supply charge here is 120, while if you want to have a higher feed-in tariff, which is still capped at 14 kilowatts per day, and then they drop you to the normal standard 5 cents, you'd have to pay like 32 cents per kilowatt for your usage as opposed to 28, and the supply charge is 134. But if you're only on the 5 cents flat feed-in tariff, that's 120. So the supply charge and the cost per kilowatt is significantly different, and that's why I think that system that I'm gonna show you in a few moments is really helpful, because otherwise it's just very difficult to work out on paper. It's a big job, but that system that I made in Excel, that table, it just gives you all that info right away, and I created it 3 years ago and I'm still using it. I'm just changing the numbers, the input numbers, and off I go. So anyway, back to the Excel table. This is what it is. Now you can see I only have three options here, because that's what the region offers me. And here I had input all the data, all the numbers, and at the end here I have the predicted outcome amount. So basically I took my latest power bill just so I can have it as a reference. Obviously now being winter, my solar will produce a bit less and I might use a bit more power at the times when I don't produce solar from my batteries, so my consumption might be different, but it still gives you an approximate understanding of what the difference is on the final outcome on your bill. Now here I entered days of usage. That's what it shows, 91 days on my last bill. I have a number here that I can change, which is a total consumption from grid. That's the electricity that I take from the grid. That's of course not counting what I consume myself from my solar, because obviously my home is fed by my solar power plant during the day, and whatever I don't use I then export into the grid. So then I have the capped feed-in kilowatts, which is just the same number because it's basically 14 kilowatts per day, and then they drop you on the standard feed-in tariff of $0.5, which is 5 cents per kilowatt. So this number remains constant more or less, and then that's the remainder. So this number is the total that I produce in a quarter or in 3 months basically. So that's it here. Now I have this here, which is daily consumption, which I basically work out by getting my total consumption and dividing it by the days of usage. These are all the red fields are interchangeable. I can change them. I can change everything else, but these are just for my attention. That's what I'm mostly interested to see. And then I prefer to have the tariff where the first 14 kilowatt paid at higher number, because the way they calculate it, they like some days you might have a cloudy or rainy weather and obviously you don't produce at all or anything at all. You might not produce nothing in particular day, but they still calculate your capped feed-in based on number of days multiplied by 14 kilowatt. As long as you produce total number that is greater than these two numbers multiplied together, you still get that higher feed-in tariff of 14 kilowatts per day at the let's say current best offer is 10 cents. So it's not like they measure exactly every day whether you even produced 14 kilowatts or not. So that's probably something they will eventually look at, because I think they, that's another way where they can rip us off by calculating. It's kind of bent towards our benefit more this way when it's calculated just by the 14 multiplied by the days of usage. Once they fix it, because everyone now getting smart meters, which basically feed them the information like every 15 minutes, they can actually be more accurate with that, and they can easily work out whether you even worked, sent them 14 kilowatts every day or not. So they can easily get that now. So I'm gonna watch whether that's gonna change, but for now that's it. And so here I had input all the costs. That's the daily supply charge. Then that's the rate per kilowatt that they're gonna charge me. This is the daily consumption, obviously, that I just worked out by dividing this number by number of days. And then the solar meter charge that they charge you if you have solar. That's not changing, by the way, I think this time around. So here then I get my total usage charges. So basically what I would be looking at paying if I wouldn't have solar and would have paid these numbers. So every number here shows me. And of course, you can see that Solar Boost, which I prefer, because the rates are higher, my predicted bill would have been greater than any of the other two available options. Now then, after that, I enter standard feed-in tariff, which is basically 5 now. But for Solar Variable and Solar Boost, you actually get a higher feed-in tariff for the capped amount of kilowatts per day. So the best offer on Solar Boost is 10, and then on Solar Variable you currently can get 8 cents per kilowatt up to 14 kilowatt per day, which gets you that 1275 kilowatt per 91 day. So then that all gets calculated. These are very basic formulas. I can show you, let's say, how I work out the total charges. So that's the number, that's the formula there. I basically multiply number of days by supply charge per day. Then I multiply solar meter charge as well by number of supply days, days of usage. And then I calculate my actual usage, which is this, multiplied by my rate. Oh, sorry, that's the rate. That's a daily supply charge. But anyway, so that's what I get. That's the formula for it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got it right, but if you guys notice mistake, do let me know, because I do rely on that to actually predict my bills and work out which way I best, go, which plan I choose. But I checked it. I'm pretty sure I'm okay, but do let me know. So anyway, yeah, and that's it. And then that's my total income from solar. So here again, the Origin Go, which is the cheapest, was the most straightforward to work out. Basically, you just multiply everything and that's your total income from solar, because you don't get capped. So you just add this and that and then multiply it by whatever feed-in tariff they offer you. And again, here for the ease of use, I just use the formula to work out the daily export average, which is basically these two numbers divided by 91, and I just then multiply it by 0.5 and then multiply it by that again. So that's how I get this. With the variable feed-in tariff that they offer, the formula is slightly different, because you have to take into account firstly how much you're gonna get for the capped amount of kilowatt, and then you need to add to that the rest of it that you produce. As you can see, my system produced about, what is it, 3,800 kilowatt or thereabout in the quarter. It's not too much, but we must have had some rainy days. And then, yeah, so, and that's what I get. That's the formula that I used for it. Obviously, if you're a little bit familiar with Excel, you can easily understand what it means. You can, if you like, you can pause and watch, and it'll be much clearer. So yeah, and so I enter everything, and then I compare, and then at the end, this here, I can see. So my lowest bill is likely predicted to be the one on Solar Variable. So not with the highest kept feed-in tariff, but the second highest, and that is mostly, I would say, due to because how much lower the consumption is, and the daily supply charge also plays a role because it's 11 cents cheaper per day. That's 90 days. You work out what the difference is, and yeah, it also shows you here that your bill is just much cheaper than on the higher kept supply, and also just slightly higher than on your lowest feed-in tariff available. But because your feed-in tariff so low on Origin Go, which is basically the cheapest, you sort of get more back. See here on the variable you get $230 per 91 day, and on the Origin Go, which is their basic one, and that's the one they will probably shift you to if you don't act yourself. I'm talking about Origin. I don't know how other suppliers work, but basically yes. So they'll shift you to that, and obviously your bill will end up being highest. Of course, if you don't have solar, you'd probably be better off going with Origin Go, because that's the lowest bill you'll get if you decide to stay with Origin. So that's how it is. That's what I've done. And it helped me year after year to choose what Origin plan I want to have. And also, Origin, I don't know if they're trying to be cheeky or what. I mean, obviously, I do believe they're not trying to make it as easy as possible for people to understand, just because a lot of people just give up and just go with whatever their gut tells them and all. But last year, I'm pretty sure, see how Origin Solar Boost is here, and the Origin Go variable, the cheapest rate is here. The previous year, it was the other way around. I don't know if they changed it for any specific reason, sort of providing the most expensive first or not, but it changed for some reason, and I only noticed it, when I started to enter the data into my Excel table. And again, not sure why they would do it. The other thing is, previous years, they would have Origin Go variable, Origin Solar Boost. So your variable would have a fixed amount per kilowatt. Your Solar Boost would have variable, which is kept at 14 per kilowatt per day at higher rate, and then your standard kicks in. And in the middle, they would have something in the middle between these two. But now the Origin Go Solar variable appeared, which is also offering you variable feed-in rate, some higher rate for your kept 14 kilowatt per day, and then it drops to standard. So that's another difference which wasn't there before, I believe, because I don't remember, my Excel table from last year did not have that option for the second variable tariff, which I had to enter here just now, just so I can calculate this. So that's what it is. And of course, none of these numbers take into account government rebates that are currently on offer. I think there's like $1,000 federal rebate, and there's also a state rebate. So obviously, with all the rebates, I expect to be in plus, because the rebate per quarter will be far greater than $122.29. But that's beside the point. And so yeah, here we are. I hope you guys like it. I hope it helps you guys. Please leave your comments, subscribe, share, like, tell the others, and of course leave comments and tell me what you think, and if you have a better system or how you do it, that'd be very, very nice. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.